My friend Deepthi Rao from Silicon Valley is a publicly known LGBTQ plus leader, and we are going to talk about the issues facing this community from a dharmic point of view.
Rajiv ji, how does Sanatan Dharma view LGBTQ community?
So, LGBTQ has always been part of Hindu Dharma. Such people have always existed in Hindu society. There's never been any tension, conflict, or a condemnation of such people. The trans people actually bless the birth of a child and a marriage and other such things, auspicious occasions. There are temples dedicated to them. The Varna structure is totally independent of gender and sexuality, totally independent. It's the British who destroyed the social equilibrium in India by creating all these kind of things, and they projected Victorian values at that time. Now, in our tradition, Naam Roop, everything is name and form. Doesn't matter who it is, what type it is, everything is name and form. And as you mature, you transcend your name and form. You become more your real self and less the conditioned body that you are in. So actually, our dharma teaches transcending identities. The modern problem of victimhood is not the way our tradition views society. Creating people into victims and turning them into identity politics is what has been a disservice to the LGBTQ community.
Rajiv ji, how do you see the Western-styled LGBTQ movement as a breaking India force?
So, this is a very important question. LGBTQ movement should be for the sake of LGBTQ people, not for the sake of geopolitics. They should not be used as victims for some other cause. When they start, like they have a movement in India where the leader starts talking about India's Kashmir policy, the Indian army atrocities, all kind of things against Modi. I'm not for Modi, against Modi. It's just that I think that issues should be kept separate from politics. Some of these issues are not political. So the issue of rights of individuals should not be, what the West has done is that this progressive left, which is an extreme left wing now, they want to take all the identities, call them victims, make them angry at society, then group them together to dismantle society. This is an old Marxist theory being played out. It is very destructive. They have no experience constructing a new society, constructing a new social order. All they are doing is very destructive. So I'm not happy with the Western movement. I would like Hinduism to help LGBTQ plus within the Hindu context.
How does this identity politics work? How is it breaking India apart?
So what is happening is the progressive left in the West has decided that the way to get power is to divide and rule, to make people fight each other. So identity groups are being created who have grievances, whether it is LGBTQ grievances or blacks have grievances or feminists and women have grievances or Muslims, whoever has grievances, they want to capture them, and they want to say that we are the ones who bring you rights. So it gives them a position of power. It makes them important. It's also, some of them make good money out of it. So identity politics is a pretty dirty game, which is not very good for society.
Rajiv ji, in your view, how should LGBTQ integration be done in a dharmic context?
Throughout Hindu history, LGBTQ people were already integrated. They were not carrying banners, having an identity saying, I want rights, I'm going to sue you. The rest of the society was not bothered. Everybody is having their own sexuality and their own gender, and this is part of privacy. The Hindus respect the privacy of people. So you see, the problem only comes when an identity politics starts. So as long as everyone respects each other, I feel the more I'm conscious, I'm Satchitanand, the more I see you as Satchitanand. And then this business about whether your body is fat or thin, tall or short or dark color or light color, or all of these bodily factors and bodily differences become less important. And therefore, whether somebody is LGBTQ really doesn't matter, because you relate to each other at a deeper level. That is the real dharma. So what we have to do is decolonize our gurus, because some of our gurus are colonized from the British era. We have to decolonize our institutions and our education system, because there is no reason LGBTQ people should not be thought of as good human beings with mutual respect towards each other, just like anybody else. Deepthi, what was your experience in the American LGBTQ network in California?
I joined the LGBTQ movement in California a few years ago. Initially, it was very good. I felt like I had found my tribe, and this was a lot of desis in the queer circles. So it was exhilarating to have finally found a group that had similar experiences as me. But as I got deeper into the circle, I realized that their views about India, Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma were very colored by the leftist narrative. They thought of Hinduism as oppressive, casteist, and there was a very big tussle in their narrative and what actually Sanatan Dharma stands for. So I tried multiple times to explain that to the group, but I wasn't met with encouragement, and I was actually shut down. So it felt like that I had to go back into the closet as a Hindu in order to be accepted by the queer circle in California. And as a result, I had to make a choice between being a part of the circle there or being a Hindu.
Deepthi, it's important for our Hindu society to welcome LGBTQ plus people so they don't get pushed into the arms of the extreme left. What do you advise? What do you think is wrong with Hindu society that must be fixed so that people like you feel welcome?
The current Hindu society, unfortunately, is a little bit colonized in its mindset. And I say this with the utmost love. At its core, Sanatan Dharma is all accepting, and diversity is one of the core pillars of Sanatan Dharma. However, centuries of colonization has made our society and the Hindus react with fear, and this is a trauma response. And as a result, the LGBTQ people or the community doesn't feel very accepted by the Hindu society. All our rituals, all our customs are very heteronormative. They are devised or designed for a man and a woman. Even though at the core, if you look at the Vedic texts, it is about two souls being in union. However, a lot of our customs are currently very heteronormative. So in this current framework, the LGBTQ community might feel unaccepted and marginalized, and this is not a good situation. So my request here to the LGBTQ community is to view themselves as Hindus, to understand the dharmic folds and know that in the Vedic society we were as accepted as anybody else. And my request to the Hindu leaders and the Hindu community is to look at the LGBTQ community from a dharmic lens and look at us as a diverse manifestation of the Leela. So that way there wouldn't be a separation between the LGBTQ community and the normalized the rest of them. So there shouldn't be that separation. We are all part of the same community. And this integration is essential for us to all feel accepted as well.
Deepthi, what is your message to the Indian LGBTQ plus people? What would you recommend them to do?
So my request to the Hindu LGBTQ community is to understand our dharmic texts and understand our dharma and the core tenets of our dharma. Once we do that, we will know that Hinduism is all accepting, and we are as much a part of the Hindu society and as much a part of the dharmic tradition as anybody else. So I would request the LGBTQ community to not buy the current narrative that Hinduism is oppressive. Instead, do your own research. Read more authors like Rajiv ji and more indigenous Indian authors that don't have a colonial mindset. And then you will appreciate what Hindu Dharma stands for. My request to the Hindu community and the Hindu leaders is to, again, also look at the LGBTQ community from a dharmic lens. So we are as much a part of the Leela. We are a diverse manifestation of the Leela as everybody else. And once you look at us from that aspect, the separation between the LGBTQ community and the normal society, as we call it, that separation would cease to exist. So what we need today is an acceptance and integration of the LGBTQ people into the dharmic fold. So my request to the Hindu leaders and the dharmic leaders is to create structures and frameworks that will enable this, so that we can all coexist and be accepted, not merely tolerated, but accepted and integrated into the society.